So, if you're getting ready to walk the Camino de Santiago, there are lots of decisions to make. And it's easy to get overwhelmed because it might cost you a fortune to spend on your gear and you still pack the wrong things. So today I'm gonna show you what I've learned from walking, guiding and filming the Camino de Santiago for the past years so you can pack smarter, spend better and carry less. And we keep it simple, beginners friendly and based on what actually works on the trail. And we will start with the thing that makes or breaks your Camino from early on, your pack. And this episode is sponsored by Casa Ivar. Over the years we've used a lot of backpacks on the Camino, different brands, different styles and a few mistakes. And the first mistake, if your hip belt is decorative, your shoulders are doing the job. And the second mistake, the giant army expedition backpack. The Camino isn't a jungle mission. There are cafes and bars and restaurants and shops, and you will fill wherever space you bring. Now the size, which matters. For the rest of the routes in spring, summer and autumn, 36 liters is the maximum we recommend for the most people. And honestly, this Osprey is 26 liters, so I can handle any the Camino if my packing is dialed. Our choice, the Z-Pack. And this is actually 40 liters, but we're choosing it because this is the smallest size, which actually has a frame. And that actually matters, especially in the longer days, because it carries the weight properly. So the rules of the good Camino backpack are simple. The real hip belt, the good fit according to your torso length, and the third, don't go bigger than you need. And if you want a full backpack comparison, we made a special video which is just there, 4 different backpacks, 4 different prices and 4 different capacities. You probably will enjoy it. And a quick note, this video is not sponsored by any gear or clothes company. Everything you see here is stuff we bought and we use ourselves. Some links in the descriptions are affiliation links. So if you choose to grab something through them, you still pay the same price and we get a little bit of extra coffee money just to keep making those videos. But before we jump into the next thing, I want to give you the one Camino detail that normal hiking video never mentioned. The shell. This is the little symbol that says, yep, I'm walking the way. You see, you can get it on the road when you arrive or from the shop. I even seen some people taking it from the restaurant. But if you want like a forever version and you're cautious about the environment, you can get this one also as a badge, and it also has a happy days on it. So you've officially become a part of the international Caminotellers community. Happy days. So let's start with safety first. This is the stuff that never goes inside of the backpack. It always stays on me, always. Camino is a safe space, but better safe than sorry. And then you actually have it quite handy wherever you go. So what we normally choose is a nice fan bag, funny bag, bum bag, you name it, you call it. We like it because a few different compartments are divided so you don't mix things all together. And we can wear it on the belt or also on the shoulder, depending on how we feel. What we would put inside? First of all, we would start with passport and documents, credit cards and any ID cards, whichever you have, it always go inside. Talking about money, if we actually in the wallet, take with you some money, because many places on the Camino are kind of old school and they don't accept credit cards. And then also you put inside the journal. If you don't know the journey within iconic already journal for Camino Santiago, it's our own creation, our own baby. We did it many years ago and it has been a great success in transformation journey of the pilgrims, where you not only put what you have to take and where you've been, but also it can guide you through subjects that Camino de Santiago unravels, touches or dismantle, like who you are, boundaries, gratitude and many other subjects that makes you ponder about why you're actually doing the Camino. And then something which last year I forgot and I regretted so much, which is actually luxury items, it's an ebook reader. Because I did the Camino from Lisbon and the many days of there was nobody around and I was just to chill in the bar and the restaurant and albergue and I didn't have anything to read. Then we have a knife. And the best thing for the Camino, as the old saying is, solo con vino se hace Camino, which means the only with wine you do the Camino, if you have a corkscrew inside of the knife. Really handy. So you also put it in, and the doggy bags. Not because we walk with the dog, although we will share the first time we're going to take Blue for our Camino, but also many times you have to use the little bag for many other things, which we might talk later, or maybe I will put it in a different video here or there. And the most handy tip I can give you is some of these nylon little bags. Some of them you can get in the airport. They all goes inside to the bag. You put it in, so you have it nice and safe and also handy, and then you actually put them in. And this is something that we always keep on us. Another one quick question: what's the one item you will never leaving your home without? Drop it in the comments, tell us, share the good vibes with the community. I'm curious, what is your non-negotiable item? You see, clothes is where the most people overpack. So here is the system that works for every Camino for every season. 3-way rotation. So the one set you wear, the one set you change, and the one set for sleeping or backup. And by the way, remember, if you want to make it ultra light, simply take 2 layers. So let's start with the socks. We love toe socks. Why we like toe socks and what the toe socks? These are those funky little things that save you from blisters, and it saved many of our trips. You have to get used to them. Getting to them can be quite difficult, especially if it's early in the morning, you still haven't got your coffee. And now, if the blend can be a merino wool, that's even better. Merino, as everyone knows, not only regulates the temperature on your feet and kind of wicks the moisture, but also prevents you from those foul smells. Lifesaver. And now let's get to the underwear. Okay, 2 different options, one from merino wool as always, and another one from quick drying materials. You can wash them quite rapidly, they dry with no time, and they're quite elastic too. And yeah, you take 3, and if you're missing one or if you need more, you can just turn them on the other side and you have 1 extra pair. Just joking. So now the tops, the t-shirt, sun hoodies, or a mix. In spring and autumn we usually do the long sleeve or the short sleeve. However, long sleeve it's quite more convenient. Then in the summer, we talk about June, July and August, doesn't matter the Camino, we use sun hoodies. And some of you might think, oh, that's a lot of clothes, you know, because on the end of the day, sun hoodies, you know, well, you need to uncover rather than the cover, but that's what they're made for. So they loose fit, they lots of ventilation and protect you from the bottom to the top, especially on your neck and the face, which can suffer from the sun rays. And there's a really cool hack for the really hot weather that we figured out the other day, which are those arm sleeves, okay? And this is something that you put on and saves your mornings from the colder breeze and the colder wet humid atmosphere, especially in Galicia, and can save you from the sun rays during the day. And now we get to the fleece part, which is the top layer, and this is where we wouldn't save our money. We really need something technical, something with, first of all, can breathe, and second thing, they can protect us from a bit of a cold weather. And we will take it for all the Camino, no matter the time and no matter the Camino. Look at this kind of wavy pattern. This allows you to breathe while you're actually walking or doing any other exercise that you desire. Amazing thing. I love the hood, I love how it's constructed. Then for spring and autumn, we use a down feather jacket. Galicia can be cold and humid, so This is the difference between cozy and miserable, okay? So there are a few different options you can do, or synthetic or down. We prefer down, and then also you can use it in a few different options, like for example that. How cool, right? Then for the bottoms, that's important part again, we have 2 trousers and 1 shorts. And let me get straight to that, because the trousers, these ones we got them since Japan. We went to do a pilgrimage in Japan a few years ago, and I still have them. I still love them. This is the Patagonia joggers. Super technical, super elastic, I love them. I simply love them. One of my first top 3 of my best gear. Then we have another of the Patagonia trousers. And these ones, they don't look as hiking gear, although they are, and this is kind of blessing, because sometimes Camino de Santiago can look like an expedition to Mount Everest. And then a short and the trunks. This especially is helpful on the Portuguese way, on the Camino del Norte, if you want to get to Finisterre, you want to have a dip in the water, but also as a pajama, or maybe in the day when you want to wash everything and you just jump into them and jump into t-shirts and to the shorts. That universal method of 3 works because you are not packing outfits, you're packing the rhythm. You wear, you wash, and you dry. And everything we have, we always put in the dry bags. Sometimes we have 1, sometimes we have 2. And we use them not only to organize the things, like for example, we have dirty things in one and clean with others, but also to optimize the space and to keep everything organized. Because by the time you put everything inside, then you expel the air, and from all of those things that you see here, nothing is left. And this is the perfect moment to speak about our sponsor today, Casa Ivar, because here is the problem. A lot of people come to Europe for a longer trip. So you arrive with an extra suitcase, you know, the city clothes, the warm layers, maybe stuff for before and after the Camino, and obviously souvenirs. And then you start walking and thinking, why am I carrying all my life with me? That's where the Casa Ivar is the guide. They are specialists in the travel luggage and make it simple. So you can send them an extra luggage to Santiago and they can store it for you, and it's waiting for you safely once you finish and get to Santiago. So you walk light and still have the normal life bag on the end. So how does it work? 101, you decide what you need on the trail. Then you send or store the rest in Casa Ivar, and then once you're in Santiago, you pick it up on your arrival. And by the way, if you still need some extra last-minute guidebooks, gear basics, Casa Ivar has also a shop with a good quality Camino stuff. If you're thinking about overpacking and how to manage it once you're on the Camino, Casa Ivar is something that we recommend to everyone. Link is in the description. And remember, lighter backpack, happy walking. And now it's time for Albergue Kit. So that's the difference between the Camino magic and why it's someone snoring like a tractor. So first of all, we have our sleeping system, sleeping bag, in this case sleeping quilt, and the sleeping liner. There are a few differences, especially if you consider your adaptability for the temperature. As we don't have lots of insulation in our body, we prefer the sleeping summer quilt. Remember, on the Camino de Santiago, you will probably never sleep outside. That means that you don't need really heavy sleeping bags. What you need depends on place you stay, because obviously the donation-based albergues and municipal won't provide any blankets. So maybe a nice sleeping quilt, which I absolutely love, could do a simple job. Other thing is this Ultra Reactor Extreme from Situ Summit. This is a really nice, comfortable liner. Saves you from the cold days, but at the same time, if you're really cold, you can put your down jacket and sleep with it with no problem whatsoever. Then we have Crocs, the albergue shoes. You know, you can shower with them, you can go to town with them, you can actually go to the night, to the disco, you know, the kind of 4x4 shoes. And also you can put them in the sport mode or in the relaxed dad mode. Then we have a towel, but we're going to talk about in the next chapter. We have eye mask, absolutely necessary, because sometimes you want to sleep when the moments when others don't. And one of the most important Camino items is this one, the earplugs, which is small item, big difference. This is what can make you sleep. Actually, what can make you sleep, because sometimes it can be quite difficult. Remember, good sleep is enough strength to walk the Camino the next day. Probably I don't have to say anything else, but the snoring myth is not a myth. So whenever we talk about toiletries, that's totally easiest choice ever, because I'm a simple guy, okay? So first of all, it's good to have everything organized, and I love this little pouch. Look, it's actually nice, you can hang it anywhere. It's nice little, with a nice little strap. This is actually from Z-Pack. And inside of this, surprise, surprise, toothbrush, toothpaste. However, let me explain you later that this is too big, but I will come to that. Dental floss, deodorant, obviously big time tissues, those little handkerchiefs that might be handy in many occasions. Soap, look at that guys, this is a gem, because this is a soap inside of this waterproof bag that actually you can seal close and you can dry it inside. How great is that? And then the nail clipper. And also, as a ginger, I have to take care of the sun, actually rather of my skin than the sun, so the 50 plus UVA sunscreen is necessary. However, not in that massive bag. Simply I would place it in a different smaller containers and expel the air, obviously just to avoid any oxidation. But this is the way to go, which actually could apply to any other things. You use any cream, like Erica has some creams here, just put them in a small little plastic containers. And there's if you're really into gadget, if you're really into those little things, we have a nice little reusable pouch which you can actually fill in with your perfect thing, and then you can seal and even squeeze. How cool is that? And they like 10 cents or 10p each. And the last thing, probably a big lifesaver, the good towel. This is not the normal towel. This is the ultra light, I think it's called the air pockets. Anyway, there are links in the description. This is the towel that it dries before you even blink. Exactly like this. And it's super small, super packable. C2 Summit, we love this thing. This is actually the large size, so it would go around me, okay, quite easily. And we love this part. Obviously, you've noticed I like that color, right? But anyway, you excuse me for the moment, because I think I have to do something important. Excusez-moi, excuse me. So now the health and survival, other words, the most boring part that saves your Camino. Magnesium, electrolytes, and some basic painkillers, your basic meds that you know you need, maybe some anti-inflammatory, maybe some painkillers in general. This is something that you will take with you no matter what kind of injuries, illnesses, and any conditions you have. Plus Wangari, which is a merino. Again, merino, I know I'll be boring about it. Merino hiking wool. This is the lamb's merino wool, which you wrap around your toes, wrap around your fingers when you have a hot spot, and then you save yourself from blisters. Like snoring, blisters are not the myth. And in the footwear section, obviously, there we have a walking shoes. We have to break them in before, and no experiments on the trail. Use them before and understand what is your feet about. And also the albergue shoes, which in our case are the Crocs. And if you want more about the shoes, we did a special video which you can find just over there, which tells you exactly what is the good, maybe even perfect shoe for you, and only for you. And another part of the section, which is the rain protection. And there are two types of people. There are poncho people and the rain jacket people. And obviously poncho is simple and it covers also your backpack 2-in-1, but it can be uncomfortable, especially when you go next to the sea and also in the hills, in the mountains, where the wind can actually blow it away from you. And then I had the rain jackets. Hold on, I have one special one here. This is actually the bag for the running they are gonna do in a few days. This extra jacket, ultra light, super cool. It can resist a lot. It actually has some measurements up to 20,000 of meters of water. I don't even know how it's measured, but it can resist a lot. However, if you take one of these, obviously you need some trousers, the rain trousers, because obviously the water goes from up to down. And now one of my favorite parts, which are the extras. They are optional but really useful, starting with the charger. Obviously we all need it, and sometimes it's really cool to have one that has 2 or 3 different entrances so you can share it with others. Then we have a power bank, which is not necessary for everybody, especially as the new phone, they do have a big battery packages. However, if you do 1,000 pictures a day, if you use your sat nav, if you use your Strava, if you make your GPS location available to everyone all the time, this little boy, this is a knitted core. It's actually smaller than the phone, and it's already 10,000 megaamperes. Great thing, we love it. Then we have yoga belts. And you already know how we use the yoga belt. We do it as a belt, and then when we arrive to albergue, we use it for stretching. One of the most underestimated things on the Camino, stretching, which really makes a difference between walking the Camino and enjoying the Camino, okay? Then we have a water bottle. In the contest of water bottle and the water bladder, we prefer the water bottle. You always know how much water you have. It's easy to take out, it's easy to put in the fountain, it's easy to fill it up. Whereas with the camel bag, you never know how much you have. It might be my convenience to drink, it might be a bit of an easier approach to drink, but then to take it out, to refill, to check how much water you have, we don't buy it. And if you want to go ultra light, just take a normal plastic one. Then we have walking poles. They're not for everyone and they're not for every Camino. If you're on a short Camino, don't take walking poles. If you don't have any mountains, if you don't have any balance issue, if you decided to have a nice relaxing moment on the Camino, walking poles definitely are not necessary. Sun hat, yes, why not? You know, probably saw me already with the other one. On this video we're going to use that one what we share with Erica. Sun hat is something that can save your existence on the Camino. Then obviously we have a Tupperware. This is something that probably nobody told you before. As we love to make little picnics, we like to take the cheese, some chorizo, we like to take it with us, stop whenever we want, or maybe even prepare the day before some special food, because kind of nutrition is important for us, especially on the long Caminos. We always have it with us with a nice little fork, spoon or spork, which we also use, a lifesaver. And the last but not least, there is a neck scarf, otherwise called buff, as the name of the company. It can be absolutely any brand. It has to serve the purpose to protect you from the wind and cold, and also protect you from the sun. And sometimes if you're short on cash, you can always get some extra. And that's the full list. No overthinking, no overpacking, just common sense. But if you're still not sure which route is the best for you, if it's the Frances, if it's the Portuguese, if it's the Primitivo, check the video up here and it will save you a lot of time and a lot of doubts.